Right, so because we're socially isolating and you can't see what I've done in the garden, I thought I'd give you a virtual tour. Now this chunky old lawnmower, which almost gave me a hernia lifting it, I think is going to be the last time we use it because I've cut all the grass with it today. I think I'm going to try and get a cheaper one as soon as possible because I don't think I can afford to get a hernia just now. I'm going to take you out into the garden. It might be a bit noisy with the wind noise, but I can't really do much about that. But I'll give you a wee tour so you can see what's been done. So, round the corner here, we've got that tree thing. I don't know what type of tree it is, but it's got some daffies in it as well. The roses down the side are looking good, and the clematis is out over the fence as well. That's a flowering currant that we got given for free, that we whacked into. I think we took too much of it, but apparently that's what we were meant to do. Roses have all been trimmed. Daffies is looking nice, all bobbing their heads in the sun there. There's some more. That's apple trees that's in there. You can see there's some grape hyacinth there. I seem to have got quite a lot of grape hyacinth all over the garden. I didn't realise I had so much of it, but I do. These are little green things there. They're irises. They're blue irises. There's some peacock irises and all sorts of things in there. There's a scabby brown thing there. That's an asparagus plant that got given to me by one of the lassies I used to work with. It's got a couple of spears coming up that actually look like asparagus, so it might actually be alive. Some more roses that have all been trimmed down. These were ridiculously high last year. This fence I had to staple gun back on. This stuff here, I had to staple gun it all back on after the storms that we've had. This was meant to be a rose. I'm not sure. I'm still not convinced that is actually a type of rose, but there we go. There's some mock sweet orange over there. That, I think, was an evening primrose or something like that. Some sort of evening scented thing, like a jasmine or something. I can't mind, but I thought it was dead. But it seems to be coming back. It's got some sort of tendrils, so it's either coming back or it's an alien life form. I'm not sure. Oh, this is the broom that smells so good at the front door. It was getting a bit mad. So I trimmed that down with the strimmer because I lost my temper with it. So there we go. There's some tree thing and some sort of ornaments. Garden's looking nice. There's this purple thing over here I quite like. No idea what it is. I did have a tag next to it, but it got blown away in the wind. I didn't really think that went through. Got these clumpy things, they're nice. There's a lavender over there. These scabiosa bush things, I trimmed them back really heavily, but they've come back really nice. They're starting to spread over there as well. That is Bonnie goes purple. There's some more lavender over there. That greeny thing there, that's more, grape hyacinth. The lavender I think might be dead, but we'll see if it comes back. The roses are starting to come back up here. Not entirely sure what was in there, but I think that's did too. These are the roses at the front door. Now, Charlie built these, and we kind of had to put a coat of varnish on them, and then put in some roses. There's one there, and there's one the other side. And they need a bit more compost, but we can't get any compost. It's all kind of in short supply. So the Five Sisters Zoo, which is nearby, managed to get hold of a load, and they're selling compost and plants because they can't get visitors in to see the zoo just now. So they're trying to raise money to feed the animals that way. So we've decided to get some from there. These hanging baskets have been there all winter. Let's see if that'll focus in. That's like a little kind of smiley face flower thing. It's got these nice wee smiley faces on them, all the flowers. It's really nice. I don't know how they've managed to survive, but they have survived all winter, so there we go. These have got slightly different kind of, I don't know, pansies or something like that, smiley monkey pansies. That one's really worse for wear, but the bees have been round there looking at them anyway. These have got, they each come up really tall and they've got some sort of trumpety lily type flower on them, they're nice. The clematis is starting to flower and starting to go green again and all that sort of stuff. I'll just shut that chunky gate. This had bedding plants in it, but I've taken them out because they were dead and put in some red onions, and I put in a load, so the idea is I can get some spring onions, take them out, and the other ones that remain will get bigger. We'll see if that works. These hanging baskets I've not done anything with, but I'll show you why in a wee minute. Now along here, this is a grapevine. It's not much a grapevine. I'm not exactly going to be able to feed the nation or make a bundle of wine with it, but it seems to be still alive after a couple of years in the ground anyway. This is full of red onions, and the idea is I'll take some of the smaller ones out and then give the other ones room to grow. This mint I thought was a goner, absolute goner, so I had actually pulled it right the way out, and then I noticed it's got these wee green bits still going. So what I've done is put a bit more compost in. It seems to be alright. These are the kind of the grapey, hyacinthy type things. They're nice, they're in there. There's a little gnome in there. It's Captain Kidd looking after all that. This is a time of year when I think I'm a vegetable grower, so I planted some vegetables. This is cinnamon basil, which is basil, I take it. Mustard greens, which is kind of like a salad leaf. More salad leaves, that's an oriental salad leaf, that's rocket. These are like peat plugs, but they're not, they're like coir or something. They've got pak choi in them, which is really nice. I grew that before, it was good. My bay tree still seems to be alive, I'm not sure why. This was the table that got stolen and smashed up, that cast iron table. So I've managed to fix it back onto the wall there, so make like a feature of it. And put some that's the clematis that's growing around here. If you look down there, there's a happy little flower. It seems to be a happy little accident. I didn't know that was in there. Some weeds that need to come out. This is on there pretty solid, but the entire fence is moving. So, you know, it's solid on a rather chunky fence. So we'll see how long that lasts. In the other greenhouse, we've got, this is going to be petunias, little trumpeter things for the hanging baskets. This is that strawberry plant that I ignore every single year, and I thought I'd finished it this year. But no, I was about to chuck it out, and it still had some green bits on it. So I've taken a load of the old soil out, put some new soil in, and we'll see if it works. Compost soil. This is cilantro. Now cilantro is very similar to coriander. In fact, it's identical to coriander. I just couldn't remember if coriander had 2 R's or 1 R in it, so I called it cilantro instead. This is going to be more red onions, because I've still got a shed load of them. It was like 99p for a bucket load of them from Home Bargains. This is primulus, well, I thought it was a type of cheese, and some other type things, and there's some weeds that need to come out of there too, but I don't have any other compost to put in there just now. On this fence, it looks a bit dodgy. There's more of these pansy things. They're looking good, and that's another strawberry that needs kind of sorted out, and a little gnome looking after it as well. The whole thing needs a wee bit adjusted. This was 150 litres of compost from last year that I'd used to grow tatties in. Now, I put it in there, and then I thought, what am I going to do? So I'd been in B&Q last year, and I saw they had like this packet of bulbs for a £5 that had 120 bulbs in it, and that were meant to come up at different times of the year. Well, so I thought. So I stuffed them all in there, so that some would be at the front and small, and some would be at the back top. But they all seem to have come up in a one go. But they still look pretty good. Like, I mean, they're nice. They've got these little purple things. I mean, there's been bees going around them. They seem to like them. And there's this grassy stuff. It looks nice. There's an ivy stuck in at the back there. It's making heavy weather of it, to be honest. I thought it'd be up over the foot, but it's not. And that's your lot. This is something, I'm not entirely sure what. That seems to be a lid off something. I'm not sure why that's there either. But there we go. So that's the garden that you couldn't see because we're socially isolating and distancing and all that just now. So there we go. Oh, and that's the new bird feeders. This is meant to be squirrel proof and pigeon proof, more importantly. And so the pigeons and the starlings can't get into that because the buggers are ravaging it when they do. This is full of Niger seeds, or Niger seeds, or whatever it is, which is beloved of finches, but they've pretty much ignored it so far. This has got something in it, I don't know what that is. That's a weed though, I'm pretty sure that's, yeah, that looks like a weed, it's out now. Not sure the difference between a weed and a flower, really, to be honest. I think they're pretty much the same thing, except if it's a pretty weed, it's called a wildflower. So there we go, we'll learn more this year. The clematis is right the way across the top of the fence now. So it's come from over there, so we're trying to get it to go down the fence and stuff. I'm not really sure how successful I'm going to be with that, but I'll show you a wee bit later on, and I'll plant some more of this kind of salad stuff, because the idea is it'll kind of have a succession planting. So next week I'll plant a couple more, and then a couple more, and a couple more, and a couple more. So we should hopefully be eating lots of salads, because I need to eat a lot of salad. And we'll see if these petunias come up, because I'd saved those seeds from last year from a variety of different coloured petunias, but I'm not sure if they were like hybrids, so I'm not sure what colour they're actually going to come out. In fact, if they'll even come out in that compost, but we'll see. Anyway, see you soon. Bye bye.